the Hopewell Area School District Board Business Meeting. I'd like to announce that we have one of our board members on FaceTime, in the box we call him, Mr. Rob Hormata. And turn it over to Ms. McKittrick for a moment.
Please stand. I'd like to take a silent moment of contemplation along with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. McKittrick.
Thank you.
We have roll call, Mrs. Barber.
Mr. Caton, Mrs. Bobo,
Yeah.
Mr. Hormato, Mrs. McKittrick,
Here.
Mr. Newberry, Mrs. Overlock, Mr. Patterson, Mr. Santia, Mr. Winkle.
Here.
Thank you. And at this time, we'll have good news from our schools.
Good evening from the elementary schools. Rob Kartachak, assistant principal. Independence and Margaret Ross. Last Wednesday, Tanya O'Brien, Sierra Katona, Monique Wirtz presented the Remake Learning Days as part of the Smithsonian Project Zero cohort at the Children's Museum. Our teachers developed resources that will become part of the Smithsonian's digital resource collection. They did a really nice presentation and we're very proud of them. At Kane Road at Indy on Saturday, May the 4th, the students participated in the Kids of Steel Marathon, which means they ran the last 1.2 miles of the Pittsburgh Marathon. We had over 130 students between the two schools. Special thanks to Lisa Morrell and Monique York for organizing the event. At Margaret Ross, this coming Friday, our fourth graders are going to be performing music around the world. They're going to be singing and dancing. The musical is under the direction of Nancy Miller. At Independence, this past Friday, we had our annual music program for students in grades K through 4, The Magical World of Disney. Over 400 people attended those two performances, and once again, that was also under the direction of Nancy Miller. And at Kane Road, Lauren Opalenko, our Title I teacher, held the first annual read-in event 2 weeks ago. Students were encouraged to read nightly. There were mystery readers throughout the building, and author Joe Wokes participated in an assembly with students in grades K through 3, and that was made possible by a grant from the Beaver County Educational Trust. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move on to a special presentation by Dr. Mitchell on, Dr. Oliver, I'm sorry, Chapter 339, Career and College Readiness. Interesting.
What, one of the lights off now? No, probably the coach. Do you want us to? All right, I'll have, or you just scoot over here, doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and get started while that is warming up, turning on, whatever you like to call that. Good evening. My name is Kelly Oliver. I'm our district's coordinator of people personnel services, and I'm also our school psychologist. I'm here tonight with 3 of our 7 truly amazing school counselors who helped me spearhead this plan for our school district. We have Nikki Rogers, Maria Vanya, and Amanda Iannini, and they'll kind of reintroduce themselves as we work through this presentation. Before I get started, I want to say that so much of what I do in my role for the district is extremely confidential, and having the opportunity to facilitate the development of our district's 339 plan has helped me kind of branch out a little bit, and for that, and for all the work that I do for our district, our students, community members, and families, I am extremely grateful. So this has been a real treat for me. Okay, so Chapter 339. I know what you're probably thinking. Here we go with our public school acronyms, alphabet soup and numbers galore. Chapter 339 was born from the PA Ready Index and is part of the PA School Code. And I want to point out to you that our district has actually been taking on career exploration and college readiness activities for a number of years. It's just that now we're mandated by the state to have a formal written plan. Currently, and hopefully it's finished condition that it's in right now, our written plan is about 100 pages long. So this is a very brief overview of the detailed plan. But the purpose of this plan is to provide a comprehensive and integrated school counseling plan that emphasizes the importance of college and career readiness, like I mentioned a minute ago. And even though our counseling department helped write the plan, it is really an effort that is put forth by all of the staff members in our district. Administrators, teachers, our school counselors, maybe our board members if you'd like to get involved, and we also welcome community members and small businesses, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. But it really is an effort to get our students interested, asking questions, exploring all career options, and from an early age. And Mrs. Zainini will talk about it in a minute, but we actually start our exploration activities with our kindergartners, and that goes all the way through 12th grade here at Hopewell. So, and we're very proud of that. But those exploration activities can take on a bunch of different forms. It's not just a written project that talks about what a student wants to be when he or she grows up. It's maybe doing some other tasks, getting involved, having people come in and speak, and a few other things that I think I'll let our school counselors talk about. I don't want to steal their thunder. So to kind of lead us into this, here is a list of all of our current school counselors. At the high school, we have Dr. Dreschman, Mrs. Vanya, who's here tonight, Mr. Collins. At the junior high, we have Mrs. Batchelor, Mrs. Rogers, who's also here. And then Independence Elementary and Margaret Ross Elementary are split with Angelica Deal. She works at both buildings. And then Amanda Iannini works at Hopewell Elementary and Margaret Ross Elementary. So I'm going to turn it over to them and let them share some helpful information about our 339 plans. Can we do?
Yeah. Hi, I am Nikki Rogers. I am the counselor at the middle school, and so it seems weird saying this. This is my 19th year at Hopewell. I cannot believe it still, because I see the kids, I'm like, I can't be that old. They are that old. But, so I have been there. Marie and I actually started working on this 339 plan, had it been 10 years ago. It first came out, and we started working on it a little bit. And then it kind of went away. Not that it went away by Hopewell, but at the state level, I don't think they quite knew what they wanted to do with it yet. So it kind of got put on the back burner. But then they brought it back around and did mandate that all schools now have this 339 plan. So we, the three of us kind of got together with Dr. Oliver and started really pounding out some information and looking at some data, what's going to work best for our kids. So the one thing that we did want to look at, and the screen's kind of goofy how it has it on there, but we went back 3 years and looked at the graduation rate. So 15-16, we had 100% graduate. So the way that those numbers look, so I can explain them a little bit, we had 199 students graduate, 0 dropouts, so 0%. 106 out of those 199 went on to a 4-year college, so that's 53%. 50 students went on to a 2-year technical school or community college, so that was 25%. 10 students went on to the military, that's 0.05%, and then 27, which is 14%, went on to the workforce. In 16-17, we had 166 students graduate, which was a 97% graduation rate. 5 students had dropped out. 55% went on to a 4-year college, 22% went on to community technical school, 4% military, 14% went into the workforce. And 17-18, 153 students graduated. That was a 100% graduation rate. And I think Hopewell should be so very proud of the fact that our graduation rates are unbelievable. You know, the lowest being 97% over the past 3 years. And this data was pulled from the PIMS data. Mrs. Rossatelli had helped me kind of pull that together. And the fact that we have 50% or more going on to 4-year colleges and another 25% then going on to 2-year schools. So pretty much 75% of our students that graduate from Hopewell are going on to post-secondary education. I think that's just awesome. I mean, it makes me so proud to be in a district that really promotes secondary education, whether that's 4-year university, 2-year, or even military. there any questions on that data that is up there? Okay.
Hi, I'm Maria Vaniel. I'm a counselor at the high school, and I've been there for 15 years. And I happen to have gotten hired at Hopewell when we had the grant, the Perkins grant. I was hired by Hopewell to work with the Beaver County Grant Technology Center, which was the Beaver County VOTEC at the time. So I was part-time. Then the following year, I became full-time at Hopewell. So I always kept my VOTEC. And I love it. I love the CTC. I'm still the liaison to this day. I love working with kids there. I like working with the CTC. I believe in the program. So tonight I'm going to present to you a little bit of data as far as the CTC is concerned. We have a really encouraging administration that is very supportive and encouraging of the vocational education that they get at the CTC. And as you can see, we have data that runs from 2013 all the way through this current year. And it holds steady, I would say, at about an average, I'm going to say about 10% of the enrollment. It's between 8 and 11% of our enrollment. It goes to our CTC and the various programs there. And the returning rate is very high as well. So if it's a 2-year program, that's what the returning rate means. So if it's a 2-year program, 91%, 79, 86, 80, and 82% will return for the second year. And that's a very high, what we call retention rate as well for the programs. So we encourage our students by various means to look at all of the programs at the CTC. And sometimes when they're not happy in one, say they start in one and they're like, Ms. Manuel, I don't care for this program. We see what else is available there at the CTC, and oftentimes they will move to another program, let's say from carpentry into auto mechanics, or from auto mechanics into electrical occupation, something that fits them better. We try to get a good fit before they go, but you know how it is. Sometimes when you try it, it's not exactly what you thought it would be. So I'm very proud of our kids at the CTC. They make Student of the Month quite often, and we have a great group of kids that go there. Some of the strategies that are employed at the CTC are matriculation agreements, and that means that several area schools, whether they're technical and trade schools or even colleges, such as IUP, CCDC is a big one, they have matriculation agreements with the Beaver County CTC. So the credits that they can earn credits at the CTC that will transfer directly to those schools. So that's the matriculation agreement that they have. Some of the programs at the CTC, you all may already know this, but some of them offer up to 24 credits for CCBC. So that's 2 years of college. So that's very good. We push that a lot. And again, that's college credits. The industry certifications, many of the programs there, business information systems, welding, HVAC, electrical occupations, and I believe culinary has an industry certification as well. So that is even better for our kids when they get out. They get to take these industry certification exams. All of the teachers that offer that for those programs are certified in them, and have those, they're able to administer those tests so that our kids can get industry certifications, and that's great for them to go out and get jobs. Next. So some of the things that we want to do at the high school level, we want to increase the parent and student knowledge of the careers at the CTC, as well as the skilled trades, which now are completely booming, as you know. The unions and the skilled trades, vocational schools, I mean, we're in such short supply of these workers. So we want to increase the knowledge. We're often focused around college, 4-year colleges. It's hard to get out of that frame of reference, which I understand. But we have to increase the awareness for our parents and for our students. You know that we have the Parent-Student Education Series that the high school offers in the fall and in the spring. And it's within that I host the career and technical night where I have representatives from various trade unions as well as the CTC come in and speak with parents and students about what's available. And we offer a large array of information to our students on a monthly basis about jobs and different offerings within the skilled trades. We keep current on the technical job trends with the CTC's help, and we do adjust the curriculum to reflect the occupational needs. We talk about it within the classrooms when we go in and do our career presentations. We talk about the needs that are out there now and what the job force is looking at. So. Any questions on that? Thank you.
I'm Amanda Iannini. I am one of the elementary school counselors. So I'm speaking on behalf of both me and Angelica. I'm just at Hopewell Elementary and Margaret Ross. She's at Independence and Margaret Ross, but we work very closely together. So what I'm talking about today, she does at Independence as well. So it's consistent across all three buildings. At the elementary, it just is known that early awareness and exposure to a wide range of post-secondary educational and career options lead to students setting academic goals that can then lead into career goals. So at the elementary level, our goal for students is just to demonstrate an increased awareness of educational and career opportunities. So the way that we're able to increase that awareness at the elementary level is going into the classroom and doing a counseling lesson on different career options and educational options. We do that K through 4. Each lesson looks a little bit different, obviously based off of the age of the kids. But we do go into the classroom. We have career cruising, which is a program that we've had in the district, I guess, for a couple of years. But we just implemented it this year at the elementary level. So it's a computer-based program. Students are able to go into this program. It teaches them about different jobs. It's actually set up like a game. They really seem to enjoy it. We were able to get all of the students logged on this year at least twice. Some students were able to log in 3 times. After each lesson, they have to do a reflection activity, so it makes them stop and think about, what jobs they're interested in and what they enjoy doing. I brought just a couple samples of things that we do in addition to the computer program because it's fun to look at elementary kids decide what they want to be when they grow up. So just for your entertainment, this is something that some second graders had filled out. It's just a when I grow up, they had to draw a picture, write what they wanted to be, and then talk about what that job would look like. So I can pass those around to all of you. I also have just a simple career interest survey that I do with 3rd grade students. They have to go through and check off what they're interested in, if they like arts, if they like science, if they like math, if they like talking to people, if they like animals. But what it does is they have to go through each box, and the box that has the most checks then identifies what career cluster they're interested in at this age. So based off of that career cluster, then I can talk more specifically about what jobs might fall under that career cluster. So it's good. We try to do something like this each year just so that they can see what they like to do in 1st grade if they're still on that same career cluster or if they completely kind of shift gears. But just another little simple thing that you guys can look at. We also do a career day at the elementary level. We focus on 3rd and 4th grade students. We have community members come in and they talk about their education background, what their job is, what it looks like, their schedule if they work on the weekends, and then after the career day, the students fill out some type of reflection activity just to kind of talk about what they liked, if they thought they would like any of those jobs. So it helps bring in the community and expose them to maybe jobs that they're not as familiar with. We also have a plan. We weren't able to set that up for this year, but we are definitely hoping to do it in the fall, is connect with the CTC. They have a ton of different programs. A lot of our elementary students don't know about the CTC unless they have an older sibling or somebody that has gone there. But doing a virtual tour. So the students, we're focusing on 3rd grade students, so we're hoping maybe Ms. Fanyo can connect one of her students that are in that specific program and do a virtual tour with our elementary students, just to see what it looks like, see what the program looks like. That's something we're hoping to do at least 2 or 3 times, just to give them some different ideas as to what's available at the CTC. So that's kind of our elementary career goals in a nutshell.
I heard about the virtual tour, and I heard that there were a lot of young students in the Hopewell district that asked a lot of questions, a lot of really good questions, and it was really successful.
And if they're not familiar with it, it's not something that they go to high school thinking is an option for them. So we're really excited to see and expose them, given that we're trying to not just push all students to a 4-year college, but there's a lot of awesome jobs out there that they can still do and be very successful if they had more information or knew, even parents had more information about the jobs out there.
I have a question. On these blocks, do you ever have kids that check all of them?
Oh, yes, we do, yeah. And at that age, I just tell them that's fine, then just write all the colors and you like all the jobs and we'll worry about it in a few years, but thank you.
Thank you.
My 7th and 8th graders, I don't have anything physical to show you. They are not ones to sit and draw things on their board. Unfortunately, I sometimes admire the things that they get to do at the elementaries, but I love the junior high. I mean, those are my kiddos. I love the 7th and 8th graders. Junior high is all about exploration. It's not about pigeonholing a kid into a career in 6th grade, 7th grade. It's about all the different things that are out there. There's all kinds of career clusters, so we try to give the kids a little bit of everything. The CTC has just been amazing in everything they've been able to offer our students. And I'm sure Maria will touch on this. Some of their programs are now offered in grade 10, and that's new for the CTC. We have been bringing the CTC in to talk with our 8th graders for years. Sometimes they bring students in if we can make the schedules work, and they'll bring students down. But this spring, and Liz Lanchek from the CTC came in, and she talked about non-traditional students in programs. So she had women in the auto mechanic program and women in the welding programs, and just really highlighting those non-traditional students in those roles. And that all 8th graders had exposure to that. The CTC also comes to our open house, and again, they've been coming for years to open house to get that exposure out to parents as early as 5th grade. They can go to the booth and they can see the different programs. They have like a running scroll that they'll go through all of their programs and the different things that they can offer. And they tell the parents, this isn't in 10th grade, until 10th grade, but we want you to start seeing what programs we have out there. A new program that they have at the CT is that tech program. And if you ask any elementary student, they want to be vets. So many of them. I want to be a vet, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a nurse. And so now that they have that tech program, I think it's huge for our area. And the CTC listens to the needs of the community, and they really try to explore programs that really go in with our community. We have career speakers that come in. Mrs. Batchelor does a really great job with our 6th graders. Every day 7, she has a different career speaker come in. The 6th grade is on a 7-day rotation, so she has somebody new coming in. I tried that with my 7th and 8th graders and having them come in during lunch, but 7th and 8th graders do not want to give up their social time to listen to a speaker. So I'm trying to work in some different ways with the speakers to get those people in front of the kids. Mrs. Batchelor also does a career day, and it's actually this Friday. So if you guys are in the area on Friday, you can stop in. It's in the gym. I want to say it might be 9 to 11, and that's for all 6th graders, and they rotate through different tables. This will be her 3rd year for doing the career day. We also do career cruising. Again, like Amanda said, it is a K-12 program, so we are doing programs with our students in grades 5 through 8 where they log in. They will do an interest inventory, they'll do a learning style inventory before they leave junior high. Again, it's just showing them different careers with all different kinds of education. So a lot of times they say, oh, they want me to be a garbage man. Well, you like hands-on learning and you like being outside, so that kind of fits the bill. It doesn't take into account how much education is needed. So they also get to see how they learn best, whether it's by hearing, seeing, or doing. And for them to recognize that in junior high, so that when they go to high school, they can use that in their classes, knowing that they see something, they're more likely to retain the information. Or if they have a hands-on activity, it's going to help them retain that a little bit more. We have a partnership with local agencies that come in. Eaton Corporation comes in, and they do lessons with our science teachers. We've also, at different times, had Junior Achievement come in and do lessons with our students in grades 6, 7, and 8. Choices program through the Airport Area Chamber of Commerce comes in every year. They do a 2-day presentation with our 8th graders. Again, they're looking at careers, they're looking at interview skills, they're looking at money management, they're looking at a student's timeline, because at this point they think they've been in school forever. And so she has a giant rollout that she uses to show them that you've really been in school for this long and you have this much ahead of you. So they like looking at those things. And we also partner with post-secondary schools. PTC at Pittsburgh Technical College gives us tons of information to share with our students, and I know that Vince Grateri, who is one of our partners with PTC, he is really pushing CAD programs, and so we're quick to talk about how great our CAD program at the high school is. I think Hopewell and Blackhawk are 2 of the best CAD programs in the county at local high schools. So again, we like kids to just identify some goals. Once the kids write those goals down, I tell them you're more likely to achieve that goal. But again, explore, explore, explore. It's the most you can do in middle school, and see all the different careers that are out there and the different education that goes with careers. Because the kids really have no idea what it takes to be a doctor, to be a teacher, to be a carpenter, what kind of schooling that they need for that. So we'd like to make sure that the kids have that information.
Okay, and at the high school, what we do is we take the exploration and career cruising, things that they do at the junior high, and we just expand on it. We meet with our 9th graders and our 10th graders, and we go over the learning styles again. And then we do more exploration and interest inventories more extensively with them. And that helps to narrow it down. They have information from the year prior to look at, to compare. All of that, the career cruising is a good program, because then after you choose a few careers, you can then research more, find out how much education, what the median income is, what the job market is like, etc. We do that, the counselors do that with the students. What we also do is we have the CTC come in, and they speak to all the 9th and 10th graders, and we do a tour every year. We take them on a tour of the CTC and different programs. Now, that being said, you may not know this, this year they did expand 5 programs to start in the 10th grade at the CTC. When I called to give Ann Liller my roster for next year, which is a good, nice roster, she told me that that was the last year they were going to do that they are going back to just 11th and 12th grade with 10th grade only being cosmetology. They're changing that again. I'm not sure why that happened. I don't know if they wanted to pilot it this year just to see what they got, but I think they got a whole lot more 10th graders than they bargained for, and I'm not sure that they can now fit in the juniors and seniors that they used to. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. It's a little iffy at the moment. But anyway, that being said, we expand their knowledge of the CTC, the programs, and we take them there for the tour, so we expand their exposure as well. We as well have outside agencies come in. We have the military come in, set up. Military comes in probably once a month, different, or maybe twice a month, different, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, they set up outside of the cafeteria. We have colleges, we have trade schools, they come in and set up outside of the cafeteria during lunches. So the kids can talk with the recruiters, the kids can talk to the admissions people that come in from these various colleges and get information. We also have our English teachers and our history teachers, as well as our business teachers and science teachers that have different people from different careers come in, whether it be engineers, whether it be administrators, whether it be bankers, chemists. We have a wide variety of different occupations that come in and talk to the various classes during their class time. They usually have one guest speaker per year, the classes do. So that's a nice introduction for those kids as well. And as I said, we do career cruising and incorporation of career exploration in the classroom. Some of our classes that Intro to Digital Awareness that all the ninth graders take, we introduce some careers in that class as well. So it's built into some of our curriculums throughout the 4 years that the kids are there as well.
Okay, so part of this document that you have in your hand is just a few pages. As Dr. Oliver said, our full 339 plan is over 100 pages. It details all of the different activities that we do K-12 with our students. Everything from, kids do a career. What we are trying to do is we're trying to show this to the teachers also so that they can see when they do career stuff in the classroom. Students have to have career artifacts before they graduate. So if they're doing a project in math that revolves around careers, we're going to go into the classroom and we're going to see a little bit of what they're doing, and then we can keep that as part of their artifacts for their career. It's not solely the responsibility of the school counselors to do all of the career stuff, because teachers are doing amazing things in their classrooms with careers also. So when you get the full document, you'll be able to see all of the different activities that are there. But part of the 339 plan is having an advisory council. So the advisory council consists of students, parents and guardians, educators, administrators, school board members, outside agencies such as Children and Youth, Truancy Intervention Program, or just two of the ones that will be invited to that. The Chamber of Commerce will also be invited to be on our advisory board. Business and community partners and post-secondary representatives will be part of our advisory council. And the plan is to start those meetings in the fall, and we will have 2 meetings every year. And that's just to be able to show them what we are doing. And Maria's going to go a little bit more, or no, Amanda, one of you, I forgot. On how we're going to use these council members with our 339 plan.
So the whole purpose of having an advisory council is just to help support our goals in the school counseling program. Sometimes having people out in the community and businesses and parents, they can give us more information, connect us with resources just to help make the school counseling program as effective as it can be, and give us feedback if they have suggestions to things we could do differently. So that's kind of the purpose of having the advisory council, just to sit down and talk about specifically what we're doing or how we could improve or do things differently.
Any questions?
So you said that, Dr. Oliver, you said that this was a requirement of the state for every district to have a 339 plan by what date?
Depends on who you ask. At the state, the goal was to have a written plan by the start of the next school year. That seems to be the most consistent.
2019,
Yeah,
1920 year.
Now, I can tell you that the bulk of Hopewell's plan was written at the end of 17-18, but we were required to go through 2 years of training before we could be considered done with our plan. And we just finished the last few trainings this spring. So we couldn't really physically finish our plan until those trainings.
And then what is the state going to do with these plans, or they just say, okay, good job, district, and move on? Or?
So, Mr. Winkle, that's a really good question. Right now, we do have to submit our formal written plan to one of the state's consultants, the consultant that led the trainings, after the school board approves it. At this point, the only thing that we are required to report to the states are the completion of the artifacts and the activities that Nikki talked about through her different slides. So students in certain grade levels right now, they're targeting grades 5, 8, and 11. And we have to report when students have completed that year's activities, and we have to be able to verify that they completed the correct number of activities. Depending on the building that they're in, sometimes we'll do activities in 10th and 11th grade, and as long as we have that, we meet the number requirement, we can report for the end of 11th grade. It was explained to us a few times that at some point we will have to start reporting on more grades, but right now, and last year, 17, 18, it was only grades 5 and 11.
But it seems like all great work that y'all have done on this plan. I commend you on that, but it also seems like this is just another unfunded mandate by the state for putting something for the districts to check a box.
I don't know that I can disagree with
And
you
again,
on
I'm not
that.
minimizing the great work that you've done here. It sounds very,
Right.
from K, from K up, I mean, you've done a great job, like, okay, so what next?
And our district has done a really great job in years past in incorporating these activities. It's just now we have to make sure that we're keeping track.
Right, and
The portfolio.
submit it to the state.
Right, but I do think it's part of our job as educators to make sure that we have increased awareness, broad awareness to
Mhm.
all the different career options that students have once they leave our buildings.
Yeah.
It's not just about being a doctor or a teacher, although those are wonderful professions. The skilled trades in this area are a huge deal right now, and we talked about how there's a shortage of that. So I think it's just a process of helping us open eyes and ears to all the possibilities that a student might have when they graduate from high school, whether that's the military, college, trade school, community college, or going right into the workforce with one of the industry certifications that they can get through the CTC. We just want to make sure that everybody is aware of their options, I guess.
I think this is just the state's way of comparing school districts to see exactly what's being done in different areas.
I don't know, I personally, I think it's great.
Oh,
And
yeah, definitely.
because we have been part of, there's been many of us that were part of exit roundtable discussions with seniors. And we questioned, please tell us how your experience has been, what do you think we've done well, what do you think we can do better? And every time we have had that, we hear that they should hear more about the CTC, they should have more information about it, they should learn about,
Be more prepared for life.
how to fill out a college application,
Different areas.
where do you look for the funding to go here or there, and every single time these kids tell us that, and I'm glad to see you working on. And as far as the CTC, I have a meeting this week and I will find out
Yeah,
why.
find out, but I said to Ann, I said, well, can you let our administrators know that? Because
Honestly,
that was the first.
based on what I heard last, I think that there was a lot of pushback from the superintendents of the 14 districts to make it a 3-year.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
But
about that.
I do have a meeting there on
But
Thursday.
if I could say something, as a high school counselor, I feel that I'm knowledgeable enough to say this. We offer so much for these kids. We have these parent education nights where we do college applications. We do FIA, we have a FAFSA workshop. We have a career and trades night. It is so poorly attended. We have.
Is it for parents and?
It's parent students, so we announce it, well, we have the posters, well, you guys have, we have the posters out here.
I remember
We
seeing.
have them all over the high school. We do a remind, we do a blast, we do an announcement, we do a sign up, we do everything. And the attendance on that is so low. So it's frustrating as a high school counselor to hear that with our kids, because we do interviews with all of our seniors. We give them all of that information. They can set up an appointment anytime they want, and they know that, to fill out college applications if they have questions on financial aid. I mean, all 3 of us are available for that, and we tell every senior that. And we offer all of these programs. So it's a little bit frustrating because sometimes when you offer things and they're not taken up, and then the kids say it's not being done, it's not accurate. We are offering all of that, and you know, honestly, like I do that career night every year, and this year I had RSVP, please RSVP, because last year I had so many community members here. From all the trades, Master Builders Association, all the trades come to the high school at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday evening, and nobody showed up. And I was embarrassed, and I just felt bad. They gave up their time, you know, and I got a lot of information from them. So this year I had to sign up, an RSVP. I had 4 families come. I mean, this is 4 out of the entire high school. This was offered for grades 9 through 12 parents, or 9 through 11, because 9 through 12, because it had the unions in it too. So, and then I had college application night the next week. That was April 16th was the trades. April 23rd was college application. Nobody. Phone blast, remind, signs, announcement, everything. Nobody showed up.
I wonder if you had more help from the other teachers. There are other teachers like throughout the day.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
We could try that next year, yeah.
We've even started partnering with other school districts. So when we have our monthly Beaver County Counselors meetings, we will say, Hopewell's offering this. Beaver does it, Rochester, they all say, because it's a problem with all the districts that they're so, we're like, Beaver County's small enough. If Beaver's hosting something, Blackhawks, we share. I mean, we really share that information between the districts to try to parents. Because if somebody's on their way home from work and they can stop here, or if they're coming from the other direction, they can stop in, you know, Beaver. So we do share that information amongst counselors within the county.
And all of it is also on our counselor website, all of that information.
The other thing I also want to point out, this 339 plan covers more than just careers. It's academics, careers, and personal social. We did not touch on the academic or personal social things that we are doing in our districts, in our buildings, but those areas are also being touched on as part of the 339 plan. And you'll see that in the big packet. Dr. Oliver's going to forward that out at a later date. I'm not sure what date we're going to get that, but you'll see those things in different activities for the academics and the personal socials also.
And one other idea that I wanted to throw out, and I think this is kind of one of Beaver County's well-kept secrets. The CCBC academies are also a really great opportunity for students in Beaver County. They can, if they qualify for free reduced lunch in their districts, they can get 2 full years of tuition, coursework paid for. And it's not just tuition money, that covers books and some of the course materials. So not only are they getting high school credit, they're getting college credit, and they're getting it for a really good deal, free.
They are coming to the open house at the junior high. I was going to tell you that. Just contact Lauren and she'll come to the high school open house too. So we're really making open house a time where these people can, because that's when we're getting parents here. So we're having the CTC here. I know that the truancy intervention people have come to the open houses. The caring places come. The people that run Reality Tour have come to our open houses. So open house is really a lot more than just seeing the teachers.
Do you have any other questions or suggestions for us?
Thank you for all the good work.
Yes, I really appreciate it, and I do think it might be key, like pulling your other teachers in, because, you know, I hate to shed a negative light on any specific area, but I've even had people just this past school year say to me that they were encouraged not to come to open house if their kid was doing okay.
I know.
I mean, I don't know how many teachers, how many families a teacher can see in one evening, but.
Well, they do it as on a bell schedule. So, like for everyone who has, I don't know, let's say Mrs. Del Torio first period, all of those parents go first period. And Mrs. Del Torio gives an overview of the class and what she's teaching and what they're covering and curriculum and things like that. So, and then when the bell rings, they go to the second period. So it's not, like she spends a lot of individual time with each
Oh, okay.
parent. It's different
That's a
than.
good way to do that, yeah.
Yeah, it's different than a
Mhm.
parent-teacher conference.
Mhm.
But I think parents at the elementary level take open house as a parent-teacher conference. I think
Yeah.
those are
I think
the
they all
ones.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the high school, they don't. So we do try to get the word out, but I will definitely have the teachers remind their students about the different programs that we have offered, for our night programs and what's offered in the counseling.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We're pretty passionate about this, can you tell?
That's good, that's what we want.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's those copies too.
Oh.
Thank you.
I love that one that said, I'm gonna be a professional YouTuber. And make a lot of money.
You can read all that.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, I need an approval, a motion to approve the minutes for the regular business meeting held April 29th and the regular work meeting on May 13th, 2019.
Second.
Thank
You have
you.
to, you need to make a
Motion?
motion and then
So
second it.
moved.
I need, okay, motion, do I have a
So
second?
moved.
Okay.
Okay,
Second.
thank you. Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved. I need a motion to approve the financial reports, the treasurer's report April 2019, and the financial statements of April 2019.
So moved.
Do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
Thank you. Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved. At this time, we would entertain any visitors that are here this evening to speak. Thank you. Please state your name and your address.
Yes, my name is Rich Curlin, 3031 Kane Road, and I am the president of Hopewell Blanking Pride Band Boosters. I've served as the president since the 2012-2013 school year. And and I started 7 years ago coming to the school board in the year, giving me kind of a year report how the band did. And mix and motion, this is my last report because I'm probably graduating after 3 girls. So I want to briefly go over how the band did this year and what's all going on there. I got my cheaters on here though. I'm very proud of what we've accomplished over the past 7-8 years. The Viking Pride Band Boosters are the most active, most successful, and is the largest student parent organization in the school district bar none. We've had a fantastic year, from multiple parades to great concerts that are now a joint concert with our high school chorus, which is a new thing this year. We have traveled and attended and participated in 2 different band festivals, not to mention us hosting our now 4th annual Hopewell Band Festival. We had a super exciting halftime show this year that included dancing drum majors, a full pit to include electric guitars, and a fully mobile drum cart. Not to mention us providing rescue operations of a bad tractor trailer wreck on Route 79, which I came earlier reported about. We actually rescued both drivers, provided first aid, and our kids back and rode before emergency personnel even showed up on the scene. That night, I could not have been proud of the band staff, the chaperones, and the kids themselves. We just returned a few weeks ago from our band trip to Cincinnati. Fantastic trip. We participated in a adjudicated parade, which was a first for us. So what it is, it's a marching parade you get judged on, but it's very weird because you're marching by yourself in a parking lot. There's no crowd, there's other bands, and the judges walk with you. It was kind of a strange experience. And from there, we went to Kings Island Amusement Park, which is one of the biggest amusement parks in the East Coast. And then at night, it's called Music in the Park. All the bands and chorus concerts and that participated in that had awards somewhere at Kings Island. The next day, we went to Cincinnati Zoo. If you've never been there, it's a fantastic zoo, and came back home. We started this year with doing that, trying to make every other year a little more economical trip and not too far off, because next year the band's going to Disney. And last year we were in Nashville, Tennessee. So I'm probably glad I'm not going to Disney next year. I have to be in Nashville and everything else. But we're trying to make it to where it's a little more economical. I started this back when I took president, and they went to Disney 4 years ago, is that we have our 8th grade band students and their parents showing the boosters this year. So those 8th graders have been fundraising all year for their Disney trip next year coming to high school. That makes a big difference than coming your freshman year and you was, $1,400, $1,500 bill there. So for Disney year, we go ahead and invite the 8th grade. So our 8th grade band parents and students have been part of the band booster this year. The band is composed of the finest, hardest working students in the district. We have members of the band involved in just about every organization, every sport, every club. I mentioned a few this past year's National Honor Society. Every officer is a band member. If you came to our halftime show, you'll see football players performing, cheerleaders performing, soccer players performing. There's probably not an organization in high school the band's not part of. Most of the student officers at the high school are all band officers, are all band members. Now I think it's a pretty proud thing that National Honor Society officers are all band students. Not to mention this year's fantastic musical, where 90% of the cast are members of the band. We've had a number of band students this year excel outside the classroom, to include qualifying and participating in attending honors county, district, regional, and all-state band, chorus, and orchestra. I need to mention Mr. Josh Viola. He's now a 2-time PMEA All-State Orchestra bassoon player, which is a pretty huge accomplishment. 2 years in a row, he's gone to all states. He is committed to Carnegie Mellon and going to be a professional musician. Very proud of the fact that over 50% of the students in the month, both at the high school and CTC, have been band members. Probably closer to 70% between the both. We have one more major event. That's this upcoming Memorial Day Parade. At the conclusion of the parade, we march back to the high school. The band forms up. We do what's called senior step out. All the senior members are asked to step out of the band, and it's their last time performing. If you had a parent in the band, if you had a student in the band before, it can be a little emotional type thing there. We try to make it a pretty big deal. I know you've seen the music notes up on the telephone poles. I put them up at the beginning of the year. We don't take them down in the year because the band performs all year long. And they march back into high school, all their signs will line up there. This will be a tough year. It's the largest senior class we've had. We have 28 graduating senior band members. So you go to graduation this year and back to Larry and wonder why the band doesn't sound so loud, because 28 of them are graduating. I want to thank the administration, the school board, the faculty, the teachers, for all the support you've shown the band and the band boosters, and the personal support you've shown me over the last 7 or 8 years. And I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all your hard work.
I've come a long way since I was a band booster president.
Long
way.
We're definitely a company or a corporation.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to
I'm going to say goodbye.
Okay.
My daughter's graduation party is this weekend, so it's kind of crazy. Thank you all. Take care.
Thank you.
Moving on to committee discussion and recommendations under education and curriculum and instruction, Mr. Winkle.
Thank you, Ms. Deba. Recommendation to approve the continuation of the memorandum of understanding by and between Hopewell Area School District and the Hopewell Education Association with respect to online education for the 2019-2020 school year.
Thank you. Do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Item number 2, recommendation to approve a memorandum of understanding by and between the Hopewell Area School District and the Hopewell Education Association with respect to family behavioral resources.
We have a second on the motion.
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion carries.
Recommendation to approve the agreement with Family Behavioral Resources to provide school-based mental health services to the district for the 2019-2020 school year. There will be no cost to the district.
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Item number 4, recommendation to approve the Private Industry Council Incorporated to provide and install a playground at Hopewell Elementary for Head Start and district students to use at no cost or obligation to the district.
We have a second on the motion?
Second.
I got a question before we
Okay.
vote on that. John, you reviewed this agreement?
Yes.
And I have a question though, on page 2, the top bullet point,
Go ahead.
that the district agrees to close the playground after school hours if determined necessary by PIC to protect the playground facility. But shouldn't we have some discretion in, they can't just tell us to close it? I mean,
Well, I think that includes an amount of cooperation between the Head Start teacher and the building administrator on whether or not that playground should be open at any particular time. Or if it needs repairs, or just perhaps in the summertime it might be closed. It's my understanding the entire thing is going to be 2,000 square feet, which is approximately, 45 by 45. So you want to make sure that it's available, but by the same token, it's primarily for the use of Head Start. I would presume those students that come out of the building and then be in that fenced area, as opposed to in the general recess areas. So I think that just means that we will cooperate to make that happen.
and they have till December 31st on the last page, till December 31st, 2020?
Yeah,
So that's a whole year, almost, that's a year and 3/4, almost 2 years.
Well, I put that in there because in case the grant gets delayed, it's my understanding this money's being paid
okay.
for by grant money that's coming to PI, to PIC. And just in case it gets delayed, that if that playground does not get built within a year and a half, then this agreement goes away. Or they would have to come back and we would do a new agreement.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay?
Hey, John,
Yeah.
going back to what Jeff just said, item number 4, where there's no cost or obligation to the district, but right there, they're saying that we're going to be responsible for it.
Well, I think, yeah, and we might want to change that motion. There's no cost for the construction and installation for the school district. But, one of the provisions in the agreement is that our custodial staff will mow the grass that's inside of the enclosure. So I think as Michelle put that motion together, there's no cost or obligation for the initial construction of the playground. So I don't know if you want to change the motion, we certainly can. Does that answer your question, Rob?
Yes, thanks.
So how does that motion read?
Well, it says,
Let's let Jeff do it.
It says the Private Industry Council to provide and install a playground at Hopewell Elementary for Head Start district students, and it says for Head Start and district students to use at no cost or obligation to the district. So the no cost or obligation is for the construction of it.
It's for the installation,
of the,
yes.
of the equipment.
Yeah.
So I think we can leave the language as that. We've explained that. And the agreement's in front of you, and see that we do have obligations once it's built. Okay? So I think that motion's okay as it stands.
Okay.
I'll leave it as is.
Okay, and did we have a second on that motion?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved. Thank you, Mr. Winkle. Moving on to buildings and grounds, Mrs. Overlap.
Thank you, Mrs. Campbell. Recommendation to approve the following. Request of the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust to use the senior high school auditorium on November 22nd, 2019, January 10th, 2020, and April 27th, 2020 for the Children's Theater Series.
Thank you. Do I hear a second on the motion?
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
And request of the United States Tennis Association, Allegheny Mountain District, to use the varsity tennis courts on June 22nd, 2019, from 7:30 a.m. until 4 o'clock p.m. for a tournament.
Okay, do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Recommendation, request of varsity cheerleaders to use Gym B at the junior high school from June 17th through June 19th, 2019, from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. to conduct a cheer clinic.
Do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain?
And recommendation, request of David Buffalini to use the junior high school band room for rehearsals from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. on weekdays, as requested and available from May 21st, 2019 through December 6, 2019, pursuant to administration approval.
Thank you. Do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
And recommendation, request of David Buffalini to use the auditorium of the senior high school on December 7th, 2019 for the Artist in Residence concert.
Second.
Thank you. Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Request of the Hopewell Area Aqua Club to use the pool beginning September 10th, 2019 from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and from 5 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. on Fridays for practice and meets.
Thank you. Do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion carries.
Recommendation, request of the Hopewell Area Aqua Club to use the lower lobby on September 4th and 5th, 2019 for club signups.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion carries.
And recommendation, request of the Hopewell Area Aqua Club to use the junior high school cafeteria on September 9th, 2019 for a parent meeting.
Second.
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved. Thank you for your help. Mrs.
You're
Owen.
welcome.
Moving on to finance and budget, Ms. McKittrick.
Thank you, Mrs. Butler. Recommendation to approve the following. 1A through D as listed. Payments and ratifications.
Do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
Yes.
Do we have roll call, Mrs. Carter?
Mr. Harmato,
Yes.
Ms. McKittrick,
Yes.
Mrs. Obalak,
Yes.
Mr. Winkle,
Yes.
Mrs. Dova.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Supply bids for the 2019-2020 school year for the following departments as listed, A through F.
Thank you. Do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Number 3, the agreement with Medic Rescue to provide emergency medical transport for the 2019-2020 school year at a cost of $3,400.
Second.
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Number 4, the adoption of the Hopewell Area School District proposed 2019-2020 general fund budget, which projects revenues $40,271,086 and appropriations of $42,723,530. The difference of $2,452,444 will come from the fund balance.
Thank you. Do we have a second on the motion? Do we have a second on the motion?
Second. I have a question then. Does this include the 1 mil tax increase to build these numbers. Can that be part of the motion?
It's in the document that will be on display for the public meeting tomorrow. You can include it in the motion. It's not necessary until the final budget is passed.
You want to recommend we approve the fund now?
I was just asking the question. It's not required.
Yeah, it's not required at this point, that's correct.
That's fine. I just want to confirm.
Okay, thank you. May we have a roll call on the motion, Mrs. Ball?
Mr. Harmado,
Yes.
Ms. McKittrick,
Yes.
Mrs. Overlap,
Yes.
What did she say?
Mr. Winkle,
Yes.
Did she say yes?
She did.
Okay.
Mrs. Dobo.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Mrs. Ball.
Number 5, the agreement with Frontline Technologies to provide employee replacement system, ASOP, for secretaries, aides, nurses for the 2019-2020 school year in the amount of $4,643.16.
Second on the motion, anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved. Thank you, Ms. McKittrick.
Thank you.
Moving on to personnel, Mr. Vermata.
Thank you, Mrs. Dovo. Item number 1, reappointment of John F. Salopek, Esquire, Solicitor, effective July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020.
Thank you. Do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion carries.
Item 2, reappointment of Jennifer Conrad, Board Treasurer, effective July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020.
Do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Item 3 is the employment of temporary building and ground summer employees. The roster is attached.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Item 4 is a resignation for retirement of Marlene Morris, transportation aide, effective June 10th, 2019.
Second?
Thank you. Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Item 5 is to reaffirm the district's non-discrimination policy as required by Title 6 and Title 9 of the Education Amendments of 1972 and Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1975. Further, said policy to be advertised in the Beaver County Times.
Thank you. Do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Item 6 is the creation of the following positions beginning for the 2019-2020 school year. First grade teacher at Independence Elementary School, second grade teacher at Hopewell Elementary School, and a 6th grade teacher at the junior high school.
Thank you. Do we have a second on the motion?
Second. Question.
Okay.
Just if this creation of this position then, are we required to fill it then, John? Or creating a position doesn't obligate us to fill it?
That's correct, but she will, these are on the agenda now, this one and I think your next motion, so that the positions are set for the bid that will occur, I think, on the last day of school. Is that what it is?
It's the 29th.
Right.
On the 29th.
Yes.
But no, if something changes over the summertime, you can change it. That's
Okay,
correct.
I guess that was my question.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Item 7 is a reduction of the kindergarten position at Hopewell Elementary School.
A second on the motion?
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain?
Shouldn't that read for the 2019-20 school year?
Yes, I think so. Let me fix that answer.
Well, not necessarily, you're reducing that position. If you make that motion, then it would come back the following year. You don't know what is going to be in store the following year.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Item 8 is the request of Janice Dreschman for an unpaid leave of absence from May 31st, 2019 through June 3rd of 2019 due to health reasons.
Second.
Thank you. Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Item 9 is a resignation of Dave Kennedy, varsity swim coach, effective May 21st, 2019.
Second.
Second.
Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion approved.
Was he boys and girls or just,
It'll be boys and girls.
he was the head coach for both? We gotta replace that position.
Item 10 is the appointment of John Massey, substitute transportation aide, effective May 13th, 2019.
Second.
Thank you. Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved.
Item 11 is the employment agreement by and between the Hopewell Area School District and Jennifer Conrad as business administrator, effective July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2022.
Second.
Thank you. Anyone wishing to vote no or abstain? Motion is approved. Thank you, Mr. Lamar.
Okay, thank you.
Which is a very rare occasion, but our superintendent was unable to attend this evening, so we will not have a superintendent's report. And I'll ask the solicitor if we have a solicitor's report this evening.
Only comment is to say thank you for the reappointment to allow me to serve as solicitor. I think it is for the 16th year. So I certainly appreciate that, and I've enjoyed and look forward to another year of our relationship.
And we appreciate having you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other unfinished business this evening?
Can I say something?
Yes.
First of all, thank you for the reappointment. I appreciate that both as treasurer and the new contract, so thank you. We also got a kind of a sad call this afternoon from David Gordon's wife. He had been a principal here in the elementary schools and then also the junior high, and he passed away yesterday. So
Thanks.
thank you again.
Okay, hearing no other business, I'd like to announce that the upcoming school board meetings will be June 10th, regular work meeting, and June 24th will be the regular business meeting. And we will not be having an executive session this evening, so do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.